Oh man, I love mongoose. I say this again and again. Mongoose is just, I think, mung bean in English, and they eat that with rice, and sometimes they have dried fish. And at first, when I got to the Philippines, I hated dry fish, but I learned to love it because of the association it had. Like, I remember eating mongoose and buad, which is dried fish, and rice, just sitting cross-legged on a bamboo home, and I just loved it. I was like, this is the mission. This is life. This is what we should be experiencing. And so I learned to love that. So I love mongoose, buad, lumpia, adobo, pancit. Like, there's a restaurant in the Philippines called Mang Inasal, and every single missionary will agree with me in saying that that is the bomb. It is so good. It's just finger licking good. It's better than KFC, you know? All you get is a plate of rice and like a chicken leg, and that's it. And you put some, like, I don't know, vinegar and I don't know. You just put some sauces on it, and it's amazing. It just fills you right up. Hits the spot every time. So I wish they would bring Mang Inasal to America, but that hasn't happened yet. So that's one of my favorite restaurants in the Philippines. Mango float. That was a dessert in the Philippines. They got like graham crackers and then mangoes and then like cream and sweetened condensed milk. And then they layer it like lasagna, but it's all sweet. And then they stick it in the freezer, and it's like a cake of mangoes and graham crackers. It's so good. So good. So yeah, that's probably my favorite dessert in the Philippines.
Yeah. So I love Filipino food, to be honest. Like adobo, I still eat adobo. Like I make Filipino food at my house and stuff. It's like adobo, lumpia, which is like little meats or things wrapped in, it'd be like rice paper and then like deep fried. Way good. It's awesome. So they have a whole bunch of good food. Rice will be with every meal. If you're not eating rice, it's not considered a meal, is the way it works. It's just a snack. Like burgers and stuff, that's a snack. There's no rice. So also the burgers are different, because like if you go to Angel's Burger, it's like unang kagat, tinapay lahat. So it's like, it's all bread pretty much, and there's like a little bit of meat. It's kind of funny. So that's like they're saying like unang kagat, tinapay lahat, or like the first bite you take, it's just going to be bread. So but yeah, so I mean the food's different. If you want to get like American food, it's all like Filipino American, right? Just like how in America we call Chinese food like Panda Express isn't Chinese food. It's not real Chinese food. It's like American Chinese food. It's the same thing there. So like if you go out to get American food, it's going to be like Filipino American kind of thing. It's like with burgers, with spaghetti, things like that, and pizza, same stuff. But the food there is just, I think it's great. I love it. Depending on where you are, it's going to differ though, because in pretty much every different culture in the Philippines, they have like a different kind of adobo. So like, oh, this is adobo, and then one day you'll eat it and it'll be like kind of salty, and the next day you'll eat adobo and it'll be sweet, because those two different families will be from two different parts of the Philippines, right? And then some people use a lot more, it's like spices in there. So not spices, like spicy stuff. Like sili is what it's called. They're like miniature chili peppers, like this big. And if you just eat it, it'll just scorch you and kill you. But other than that, those are kind of like the basic foods you'll eat. One of my favorite dishes is called laing, which is laing. It's how do you say in English? It's like leaves from a plant called gabi, and it's like the leaves, and it's like pretty bitter, and then they put milk in it, and they can put fish in it and things like that, and they kind of like mix it together and like roast it. It's really good. It all goes with rice, so you'd eat it with rice. That's one of my favorites. That, and then sinigang. That's awesome. At first, when I first had sinigang, I was like, what is this? Because it's like sour, like it's sour soup. Like the sabaw or the soup is like really sour. So first you're like, what? But it's really good. I love it. And then one of the things that everybody always talks about is balut. So balut, right? It's the duck egg that has been fertilized, and they wait like 17 days, and then they boil it. So it's like partially developed. And at first, I had it on my first day in the Philippines, and not a smart idea. But like, I ate it and I was just like, whoa, like that was crazy. And I think I just wasn't adjusted yet, so I was like, I got pretty sick. But about halfway through my mission, because I wouldn't eat it until then, until about halfway through, and then one of my companions who really loved it and he'd always try to get me to eat balut, and I'm like, bro, I'm not going to eat any balut. And so finally, one day I just ate it again, and I like it now. I think it's good. It's great. But if you're going to eat balut, you need to put salt in it, and you need to put vinegar in it, because that's how you make it taste like great. Yeah. So yeah, so balut, crazy. A lot of people are like, that's gross. I think it's pretty good. So, other than that, crazy foods. I had bayawak, which is like a giant monitor lizard. So, I mean, I think it's actually, they're not supposed to eat those. Like you can't, like, I think it's like illegal or something. I'm not sure. Don't take my word for it, but one of the members fed me that. I've had snake. I had one of the things that people will, like, different from like America and the Philippines, is they eat a lot of like the intestines, kidneys, like other parts like that. And so like even walking down the street, they'll like be selling like chicken intestines and stuff. I don't know, they're not bad. They weren't my favorite, livers and things like that. Yeah. So I mean, gotta try it, you know. Other than that, I don't know. Snake, had snake. Chicken head, that's, I don't know. For me, that I just couldn't do it. Just like seeing the chicken staring at me, I was like, I can't eat you, because it was literally just the head. So yeah, so those are kind of some things that Americans would probably find different, as well as like a dish called diniguan, which is like blood, so like pig blood. So I mean, yeah, that's not bad either. Like at first, I didn't really like it. But then when I went to Marinduque, we used to have lechons, which we'd get a pig, like a whole pig, and then we'd roast it, or we'd actually like hire one of the members to roast it over a fire for like 8 hours. So we'd just have this big pig and have his own pea day, and it was great. And then one of our members would make the niguan out of its laman, so all of its laman loob. It's like all of its like intestines and stuff, which was actually pretty good. So I actually liked the way he did it. It just kind of depends on where you get it from. If it's just like the soup, or if it has like stuff in it too. So I like the one with stuff in it, but other people didn't. So I don't know. Guess it's preference, but don't hate something until you try it.
Filipino food is rice. They love rice. They eat rice for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks, and all day, every day. They just love their rice. If it doesn't have rice in it, it's not a meal to them. They think it's just like a snack or whatever. And so I never really got into the eating the rice for breakfast kind of thing, but I would eat it for lunch. Their food is so good. I actually gained weight in the mission because I just loved the food so much, but I didn't even care because it was so good. They have what's called ulam, which is just whatever you eat with the rice. So it could be vegetables, it could be meat, it could be a combination of the two, it could be fish. But you always have your rice and you always have your ulam. And they also have very different kinds of snacks, but they have what are called tindahans, which are just everywhere. So when you're out proselyting, you can never get hungry because there's literally like this little tindahan. It's like a little shop on almost every corner. And so you can stop and buy snacks for like 5 pesos, 10 pesos, which is really cheap. So there's like a ton of different kinds of cookies and candies and crackers to try, and chips. And the markets, oh my goodness, on P days we would go to these open air markets that they have in every single town, and you can buy fresh fruits and vegetables for really cheap. They have really good mangoes and all different kinds of fruits that they don't have here in America that are just incredible. So it's possible to eat healthy if you're trying, and if you like plan ahead and buy your fruits and vegetables on P days. But you can pretty much find like any kind of healthy food that you're looking for. They don't have a lot of American foods, but you can find food that you like. They have a lot of variety. So one of my favorite foods there was adobo, which they make with chicken or sometimes with duck or beef. And it's it's meat that's been marinated in soy sauce and vinegar, which sounds kind of weird, but it's so good. And then they cook it all up, and it's just really tender and really flavorful, and you eat it with the rice. I also really like pan de sal, which is hot rolls that you can buy from these little bakeries on the street. So sometimes we would stop at night on our way home and buy those hot rolls that are just fresh from the oven, and those are always like such a treat at the end of the day.